Yeah, this is a fun project. Fellow sent me this tooth up to carve. I've been wanting to do a nice relief carving on a whale's tooth for a while. This is a 7-inch whale's tooth that's pretty nice. This is all bas relief carved. After I carve it, then I can go back and do some of the finer details with Scrimshaw. You know, the rigging and these little people on the ship that are just scrimmed into the background. That works out pretty good. And the ship in the background there, just scrimmed in.
And the whale, the whale tail.
The whale tail, yeah, I put a little bit of scrim onto that just to give it some color. I chose not to do any color on this whale. There actually are quite a few white sperm whales. The white whales were prized by the whalers because they could see them real good and know just what they were getting into. So they weren't terribly uncommon. There was more than one Moby Dick, apparently. But decided to leave him white.
Towing another whale into the ship in the background.
Yeah, kind of behind this guy's head. They would put a marker flag on a carcass in case there were other whalers operating in the same area. Everybody would know whose was whose. So I tried to depict that down here, right there. Georgie, you approve. They dally a whale up to the side of the ship, and then they start cutting in on it.
Yeah, you can see they've stripped off.
Yep, the blubber, and they put a big hook through it and winch it up by the ship. And I'm pretty sure they started at one end and just kept the thing rolling like a, until they get to the end. There are other products that would, depending upon the whale, there are other products that they would take off of the whale other than just the blubber. On a sperm whale, in the head of the sperm whale, there's like a 50-gallon pocket reservoir of oil called spermaceti, which was the highest grade of oil. It was what the clock makers used and all the fine machinists and things like that. Didn't even need rendering. It was just oil.
There's a scene in Moby Dick where one of the whalers actually falls into that pocket in the carcass and almost drowns and has to be pulled out.
Nice. Yeah, I wouldn't think that would be a pleasant thing, but probably didn't have to use skin moisturizer for a long time. This cloud up here is the smoke from the try-work, which is them actually cooking down the oil, which of course happened on ship. They would bring barrels in loose, all the staves would be loose and the hoops would be loose, and they'd assemble the barrels as they needed them. Took up less room that way, and they needed the ballast to keep the ship right. And as they filled up the hull, they had so many different shapes and sizes of barrels, and each barrel was intended to go in an exact certain spot in the hole underneath, in the belly of the beast. So they didn't waste an inch. This one took me 35 and a half hours of carving. I do a bulk of it with a rotary tool, with a flex shaft, and that takes, I refer to it as the stupid material away. That goes really fast, and then once you start picking up knives and chisels and scrapers and things like that, time slows down. Gets kind of involved. I've never seen one with such cavities like this. I was teasing the guy it came from that he should have probably spent more time flossing. To bring the color up, a lot of Scrimshaw is done with India ink, which is a lampblack based ink. It's very black, but on this one I use walnut tea, which is, you take a walnut has a husk on it. If you take that off and put it in boiling water or just even hot water, it turns black, like instant coffee immediately. So if you actually cook it for a while and get as much out of it as you can, you get a really nice stain, which I have a dusty little jar full of it. I've been using this for several years, this particular bat. It gives it that nice aged patina, but it is also capable of going into the scratches just like the India ink would, and brings them out dark enough that I wouldn't put black on this piece at all. I had fun carving the ship. There's a little American flag back here, and I carved that just kind of like free flying there until I put the lines in. It didn't really look like it belonged, but now it's attached to that. This line right there is the one that the flag is hoisted on.
Yeah.
So that's the origin of the ship, and then the national origin. And then up here, they'd have a
I hadn't
flag.
even noticed that one before.
Yeah, and that one's, would tell either what fleet or what port it's sails from. I'd like to do one with a pod of whales swimming across.
Really?
Who are you talking to? And who about? What about?